Children, now let us look into the aftermath or the results of the revolt of 1857. What happened after the revolt was suppressed by the British? Now, there were a lot of changes made by the British. Now, let us look into it. The first is that the East India Company, this company, the symbol of the East India Company, was abolished. Now, no longer East India Company worked, and the powers were transferred to the British Crown. And who was the Crown? The Queen of England. Now she would look after the entire things, workings and administration of India. So the entire powers were transferred from East India Company to the British Crown, that is the Queen of England. The next move that they made was they set up a council consisting of 15 members, and the head of that council was the Secretary of State, was its head, and Secretary of State was responsible for the entire governance of India. Okay. Now the Governor General post was also abolished, and he was given the title of Viceroy, and his work was that he was a personal representative of the crown. That means he reported directly to the Queen of England. Okay, so these were the three changes. We'll look into the other changes also that was made by the British after the revolt of 1857. The other changes that were made was that the Britishers realized that they should not annex territories, so they abolished doctrine of lapse, and then they said that no territories would be annexed in future. The adopted sons would be recognized as the heir to the throne. However, the Indian rulers had to accept that they were subordinate to the British Crown. That means everything was under the control of the British Crown. Although they were given back their territories, they were allowed to rule, but they were under the British Crown. Okay, so this was the third step that they took after the revolt of 1857. Now let us see what are the other changes that they made. That the proportion of the Indian soldiers in the army was reduced, and they employed more of European soldiers because they thought that the Indian soldiers might again revolt. So the proportion, there were more European soldiers in the army than Indian soldiers, and more soldiers were recruited from Pathan regiment, the Sikh regiment and the Gorkhas because they remained loyal to the British. Okay. Now, the next move that they made was that the land and the property of the Muslims were taken away by the British because they felt that these Muslims were responsible for the rebellion. And now the Britishers also decided not to interfere in the religious matters and social practices of the people of India. And they also made policies where they made to protect the landlord and zamindar and give them security of rights over the land. They thought that these landlords and zamindars must be made happy because after all the revenue was coming from them only. So they had to win over their loyalty. So they made policies in protecting their lands. So these were the changes made by the British after the revolt of 1857. Children, even though the revolt of 1857 failed and we were unable to drive the British away from the country, but it was a blessing in disguise. It was a boon, and what it did was it developed a patriotic feeling, a nationalist feeling among the people, and they felt that now they are united, and all the people from all walks of life, irrespective of caste, creed, religion, language, they all now were united and inspired that they could finally later on achieve independence. So this was the best thing that has happened, even though we lost the revolt of 1857. Children, the revolt of 1857 has been given various names. The British historians called it as the Sepoy Mutiny because it started with a few sepoys in the regiments revolting against the use of Enfield rifle. So they call this not as the Great Revolt or something, they called it as a Sepoy Mutiny. But the Indian historians call the revolt of 1857 as the first war of independence. First war of independence, because it was the first time that the entire nation, our entire nation, irrespective of caste, creed, religion, had come together and protested and fought against the British to gain independence. That is why we call it as the First War of Independence.